Hello there, World of Tankers, and welcome to the channel. I'm your host, World of Blitz, and in today's video, I'll be playing in the first tank I ever reviewed on this channel, the M60. If you try to find that video by sorting to oldest, you actually won't be able to see it, and that's because it's unlisted. The video was so noisy and bad that I think I unlisted it maybe after a year of it being up or so. So that's why it's no longer up to the public. But it is the first video I ever recorded when it comes to reviews on the channel. I think the major reason why I did a video on the M60 was at the time it had never been sold. You see, the M60 when it was first released actually wasn't a purchasable tank. It was randomly given to people during Christmas. And the weird part was that nobody knows how Wargaming decided to give it to people. My guess is that once you spent a certain amount of money on the game, Wargaming just gave you the tank. And that's what Bushka presumed as well. But there's other people that have claimed they've spent thousands of dollars on the game and never got the vehicle. So I really don't understand how the M60 worked. Maybe it was if you had an account older than a certain time. But essentially, I woke up Christmas morning and got a message on my account that said, "Merry Christmas, here's a gift from Wargaming," and it was the M60. And this was one of the biggest, almost scandals you can call it, from Wargaming in a while, because people that didn't get this tank were quite mad. You know, a lot of people always talk about the old good days in Blitz, and they forget about the things like this that a lot of people were up in arms about. Now, because of that, I thought it was a great idea to review this tank as the first tank on my channel, because of the fact that I thought a rare vehicle like this would get a lot of views. It didn't. The video got like 100 views, but to me 100 views at that time was crazy. I remember when my channel started getting like 1,000 views a video, and I was like absolutely bewildered, just because, you know, it's crazy to start something yourself and then get thousands of views every video. So obviously, as always, I appreciate you guys for the support. So because of that, in today's video, I'll be reviewing the M60, talking about its capabilities and why it is still a very strong tank. Let's start off with the gun. The M60 features a very good gun with .317 dispersion, 3,260 DPM. Overall, pretty solid in that regard. It's not the best gun, but it is still a very good one, especially when you take a look at the on-movement dispersion. The vehicle has solid damage per shot at 350, great penetration, 270 on the standard, 330 on the heat. Next update, that'll be 340 on the heat, and it has a very nice high explosive damage of 440. Mediums are weird. Some of them have, you know, like the Leopard, for example, has 360 standard alpha and only 400 on the HE, where this tank has way more HE damage. So there's a lot of mediums that deal really good HE damage and a lot that don't. The gun depression on this tank is 10 degrees, which is one more degree over the front of the M48 Patton. Top speed is 52, which does make this a fairly faster medium than the M48 Patton as well. The downside is that it has worse turret armor. The turret armor is not bad by any means, but you do have cheeks, and you do have a slightly bigger hatch, which does allow people to pen you a little bit easier. I think when this vehicle gets PBR graphics, its turret weak spot will probably be a lot less noticeable, but I guess we'll have to find out. I'm really excited for how this tank is going to look when it does get reworked, because this is one of the last OG vehicles when it comes to its overall style. I mean, you can see just how pixelated this tank is. I think it says Valkyrie on the side of the gun barrel there, but it is so pixelated that you can barely even read it. So this is a tank I'm really hoping Wargaming does, you know, enhance the graphics on at some point. I think it would be really cool if they left this camo, though, the way it was, and you could put on the original camo without enhanced graphics if you wanted to, just because of the fact it would, you know, it would be really, really cool to kind of have an ode to the original tank. So we are going to be making our way up the hill. I was going to go up where the Progetto is going, but I don't see any reason to do that when the Progetto already was trying to climb up the hill. So, oh, we got the enemy's 62. Yeah, it is a 62. Bro, there's no way he just snapped randomly and penned me in the turret cheek. See, that wouldn't happen in the M48 Patton. And it is a good example of the differences between the two tanks. It's not that big of a deal, but it is still kind of annoying that that player even managed to hit that, to be honest. Alright, well, we are going to move along over here. We have plenty of gun depression, and I'm not really worried. There you go. Well, we penned him. However, rather annoyingly, the Progetto also shot us. Well, there you go. Nice shot into the enemy Progetto. Got the T10 down low, which is not really too much of a big deal. Let's see. We got another shot into the prog. We're getting out good bleeds right now. I mean, we are absolutely punishing our opponents. There you go. Another nice shot into the Progetto. Yeah, he's kind of getting rolled right now, I'm going to be honest. Let's just shoot him again. Yeah, I don't think he enjoyed our company all too much. We've bled about 1,000 health, but thankfully, because the Patton has a solid amount of hit points, that's not the biggest deal ever. The Patton is just a really good tank in this regard because of the fact it's such a good hull-down fighter. So the 62A is trying to work against us here, but we've got calibrated on, which means we can cut right through his turret with a heat shell. This is why I always do run calibrated on my mediums, is because of the fact you will be able to cut through opponents quite a bit easier. However, my monkey brain did not think that VK72 is looking at me, so because of that, I just bled a lot of the health I had. That was definitely my fault. Should not have poked that. Let's see if that VK pokes this again. Come on, you know you want to. What is he going to do? Well, for now, we're just going to wait right here. And we're just going to push on up. I think that VK would most likely shoot at the 57 Heavy, but I guess there's only really one way to find out. We're going to play this a little bit careful, though. 57 shoots the VK out. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. He's dead. We're already over 3,000 damage as it is, so it's not like we can really do bad this game, and it's going to be a win either way. I mean, it's a 7, almost 0 steamroll at this point. So all that's left is a 50B, who is already quite low, a 60 TP, who is also quite low, especially after being shot by the E100. So yeah, this game it's basically over at this point. We're just going to, oh man, and the Foss just nuked him for 685. I don't even know if we're going to be able to get another shell out. Nope. Wow. Yeah, this game was an absolute steamroll and a half. This is just one of those games where it doesn't really matter what you do. Oh, and we're dead. We're dead. Game did not like us there, and unfortunately, as you saw, the pretty easy shot we had on the side of the Yo did not want to hit him. .317 dispersion is kind of iffy, so it does make sense. But hey, as I said, we did over 3,000 damage. We blocked 1,650. We had a pretty solid result, and we still did top on the team. So I can't really get all too mad at the end of the day. The M60 is a very solid tank, as we can see, and that game was a good example. So let's try one more game. Let's see if the M60 can do just as well. Up against us, we have a Progetto 65, an FE4202, and a Concept 1B. One thing you also need to keep in mind is they have a grill and a 183. And it usually is very unsurprising to see tanks sitting on the rails. So that's something you always have to be very careful about. Now, we are going to start this game off by sitting in this bush here. I would love to ideally push a bit aggressive and try and get hull down against my opponents, but the problem is you never know where the enemy team's going to go, and they could play just super aggressive against you. However, with the way that Progetto is maneuvering his vehicle, I find it very unlikely that the enemy team is making their way to this side of the map. Oh, we spotted the grill. Oh, there's the 4202. All right, well, let's shoot the 4202 once, and let's spin him out. There you go. One nice shot, and we're going to aim at an HE, and there you go. 467 damage shell into his vehicle. While the 4202 may have hash, I have HE as well, and it does quite a bit of damage, as we can see. So I'm going to aim it on the 4202. Nice 375. The 121B is now rushing his tank, and we have the Progetto leaving. Well, I should have just shot the 4202 because we could have killed him, but it's not that big of a deal, to be honest. It's not like anybody lost health. Now, the 183 is already detected, which is quite good. Unfortunate. Really, that grill actually shot me through the rails. Alright, well that's a little disappointing, to be honest. Did not think he would because he's being rushed by the 121B, but what do I know, I guess. Alright, let's aim it on the Patton. Or not the Patton. My brain's dying. I just woke up, so if I do jumble my words a little bit, you know why. We're going to aim it on the rear of the Progetto. And wow, what an awful roll. We have 440 HE Alpha, and that's what we rolled. Good news is, 60 TP decided not to look at me, which allowed us to get a very easy pen into his tank. Alright, well we got the Mouse's Butte. We got a nice shell once into his tank. How much damage are we up to? It has to be a pretty solid amount. Yeah, 2,700, which is pretty good. There you go. There's our 3K. I mean, another steamroll. There was very little skill involved in these two games here. The enemy team just completely collapsed before really anything could be done. But As we can see, the DPM and overall capabilities of the M60 Patton are very good. I think this is a super solid tank, and because of that, you can have a lot of fun in it. Do I think it's the best medium in Tier 10? No. Do I think it's a solid medium? Yeah, I think you can do pretty well in it. I mean, both games we played, we did over 3,000. Really wasn't much opportunity to do more, though. We even had our adrenaline activated and everything. Just, man, that was an absolute steamroll. So there you go, 3,200 damage, and both games top in the team, so I can't complain. Hopefully you enjoyed today's video, and yeah, I think this is an absolute bop. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.